Not too very long ago, we were at some other supercars dropping off our transmission, which we were there 2 days later to pick it up. But we took a brief look at his Superbird Survivor car, and Wayne reached out a couple days ago and thought it'd be a good idea for us to do a little more in-depth review of it. So that's what we're going to do today. Just occurred to me, this may be our first time here that's not going to cost us $2,000. Anybody home? All right, Wayne, tell us all about it.
70 Superbird. Bought this car about a year ago. Pretty much mostly unrestored. It's got a lot of the original paint, original top, original interior, all matching numbers. It's a 446 spec car, automatic on the column. All Superbirds came with power disc brakes and power steering. I pulled the original engine out, and this is a 505 that I built for a different car of mine. And I stuck it back in this car with the valve covers and intake and air conditioner that was on the other motor while I freshened the other motor.
This one?
Yes, that's the original block of the car. This will get fresh and get new rods in it. But this thing is 12-to-1, 505, trick flow heads, small solid roller cam, exhaust manifolds. It should run mid to low 11s is what I'm shooting for. I'm planning on racing it tonight as long as the weather's good. We just got back from Talladega, put 2,500 miles on it. Before the trip, I did a lot of stuff to get the thing roadworthy. I put all new front end parts in it, new brake hoses, went through all the brake system, rebuilt the transmission. I pulled the original 355 sure grip out and installed a 294 sure grip. Fixed some dash lights, put LED dash lights in it, some things like that. But the car did great. It got 14.8 miles a gallon, cruising 80 miles an hour at 3,000 RPM. And
That's fantastic.
so yeah, it's a pretty solid car. It's been a blast to drive. People love this thing.
How original is the interior?
This seat had some slits in it, and I had that repaired. But it wasn't bad. Just where the stitching was messed up, so I fixed that. But other than that, it's all original. Original carpet, original headliner, original dash, door panels. I bought it out of Newcastle, Indiana. Like I say, actually a Labor Day a year ago. And it's been in that area its entire life. I just was at the right place at the right time and heard about the car for sale and went and bought it.
Oh. So, original.
Well, this has been touched up. You can see this is the original here. You see that it's got some spots. It looks like, I'm assuming leaves or something was laying on the trunk lid. Mm-hmm. And then this has been touched up. See how the orange is different?
Because this was enamel from back in the 70s?
Exactly, yes. And I don't know how that got discolored like that, but that's that way, and the hood's that way, and a lot of the body is just a little bit lighter orange, just a little bit darker. You can tell it's been touched. The wing looks original to me.
Is this 70 the only year of these cars?
Yes, Superbirds came out in 70, Daytonas were 69s. So for NASCAR, the rule was you had to have 500 cars, production cars made to be legal in NASCAR. So Dodge made roughly 503 Daytonas. Well, they changed the rule in 70 to where you had to have one car for every dealership you own. So Chrysler had roughly 1,920 dealerships, so that's why they made more Superbirds. And they were hard to sell because they had 2,000 cars to sell now versus just 500. So that was the reason that they changed it like that.
Golly, I just don't think people understand the condition this car is in from being 1970.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So,
yeah.
54 years?
Yeah, it's got 85,000 miles on it. But I'm sure it's been babied its whole life and garage most of its whole life, you know. So it was obviously driven quite a bit, but I'm sure it was taken fairly well care of, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a blast. It runs good now. The car's got good power, so it's a fun ride. It'll surprise you. It'll get away from you pretty easily, especially on hard tires.
Oh, yeah. True. Well, it looks amazing. It's got a great story. It's got a great heritage. I've got one question to ask. Does the horn meep?
Yes, it does. It's the original horn.
Okay.
It's funny. People love it. I added MSD ignition to it, so it's got a rev limiter. Basically it. I had the windshield wiper motor rebuilt but not restored. I want to look I like the original look, you know, so.
Sure.
I've had some really nice cars in the past, and this car is, you know, kind of beat up and scratched up, which I like, so I can actually drive and not worry about messing up the paint. I just drive it, I wash it and chamois it off, and it's ready to go the next thing, you know.
Yeah.
Really, really high-end nice cars, you'll spend 2 hours cleaning them, and I'm just not into that anymore.
Yeah. Awesome. So it does run.
Yep.
So we can drive it.
Yep. That's great.
Let's do that.
So, oh my gosh, is it a big Holly Blue pump or something?
That's a Carter.
Okay. Do we set the accelerator pump or it'll just
Yeah,
fire?
just crack the throttle a little bit probably. You gotta hold it open. Yeah, I haven't started.
Yeah. What size stall converter did you end up going with?
It's a 3800.
Oh gosh. But the motor is built too, though. You said you built the motor.
Yeah. It pulls about 60 to 6400 range.
That's good. If you got the balls to keep it to the floor.
Exactly.
Look at us.
Cruising in the bird.
Just cruising in a bird. I mean, these are everywhere, basically.
Yeah.
I'll probably see 2 or 3 on this drive. I can wave at it.
That's right. You honk the horn at them.
Yeah, is it like the Miata guys? Do you flip your headlights up?
Yeah, or have ducks on the dash. Have stuffed coyotes in the back seat. There's a lot of those in these cars.
Oh, these car show heaven when it comes to stuffed animals. All Acme. Look at this dash. Everything works?
Low pressure Cindy took a dump on me. I've got a new one. I haven't installed it again. I got it today.
AM only?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, what was this, a base model?
The heater works, yeah.
Wow, look at the wiper and washer switches.
Isn't that funny? 3-speed wipers was an option.
Oh, good brakes.
Yeah.
Good brakes. We're going left.
Yep.
Oh good, it's got plenty of gas.
Yes.
Oh, this motor's 12-1. Yeah, this may be the most expensive test drive we've ever done at $5.50 a gallon. Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't get excellent fuel economy, or does it?
It gets like 14.8 was what I got on the highway.
Oh.
Going to Talladega back. But I think part of that's why, because it's 12 to 1, it's efficient.
Okay.
And I've got it tuned, it's 14 O's in cruise.
Your air fuel?
Yeah. It runs nice and smooth, don't it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you have decent foot management, because the pedal is a little firm,
Yeah.
and you're almost scared to crack it too hard because you know what you've got under there. You notice the shift kit's right there because it holds the gears like it should. Probably the best you could do with the all manual transmission, right, or manually operated automatic.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things that I love about the electronically controlled ones is, like, the 4L60s that you've built for me, you can drive it 8th throttle, like, it just shifts like it's just completely stock, probably better than a stock transmission shifted. Like, you don't even know when it happens.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But then you go put some throttle behind it, and it chirps the tires when it shifts to second, and it feels like it would do it shifting to third. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've come a long way positively in the technological advancements in a transmission. So this one kind of gives you that vibe of
Old
this
school.
is how it should have been.
Yeah.
It would have been the best it could have been.
Yeah.
Oh, you can smell that. The wind came just right where I can smell what kind of gas we're burning now. Kind of reminds me of like when you used to get Cam 2,
Yeah.
right? Like
Exactly.
leaded fuel.
Yeah.
Remember Springfield Street Machine Nationals, there was like a come and go that you could get Cam 2 right at the
Really?
pump.
Wow.
But they wouldn't let you pump it into your car. You had to pump it into a can first for some weird
Yeah.
reason. So
It has no road tax.
no road tax. Okay.
That's what it is.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I never once ever put it in my road car and
No,
drove
me-
it down the road without
No.
paying the tax.
Me either, unless I go to Mexico.
In Mexico, which we're famous for.
Exactly.
We go.
Yeah.
You know, you'll never know.
We're in Mexico right now.
We're going to be there soon. Mexico looks oddly similar to
Yeah.
Oklahoma in a lot of places.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. the tip gauge come up on the coolant?
It's slow. It's got no thermostat, but it's fine.
Okay.
On a brand new motor, I never run them because I've had them stick on me, brand new thermostat, so I'm gun shy of them. So I don't. And I only put them in for driving in cold weather anyway. So, but it ran like 190 all the way to Talladega back.
And you never have an issue not running the thermostat that it runs too hot because it doesn't give it time in the radiator to cool?
I've only experienced that when I've had cars with low gears and they rev pretty high on the highway. It's got too much water pump speed.
Okay, moving too much volume.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that really strikes me about this car is, I mean, we're on back roads on our way to Mexico. It's not banging and rattling. I'm not hearing a ton of road noise. You can have a conversation, like the mufflers, of course, are what they're supposed to be, but it doesn't give old car, 54-year-old car vibes.
Yeah. It rides good too, doesn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
It drives nice, the front end's tight, it's a fun car.
I mean, if I was in a resto mod that, you had done everything head to toe on it, this is what I would expect.
Exactly.
I wouldn't tolerate anything less.
Yeah.
And I know you put some time in it, so I don't want to discount the fact that you've loved on it since you bought it. But everything you've done, I don't know what it was like before, but whatever you've done, what little you've done, absolutely has paid off. This car is straight down the road, smooth.
The front end's just all stock rubber parts, nothing trick.
You didn't even go to urethane on bushings.
No, it's all rubber. All I did was I put an offset upper control arm bushing in it so I could get a little bit more caster. So it's got 4.5 degrees caster now. Stock's like 1 or 2.
Okay. Hey, I'll tell you what. Ray Charles can see better than I can out of that little tiny mirror.
You can move it. Is it moved on me? I probably bumped it while I was walking up.
It
was tiny.
It looks like a monocle out there bolted to the door.
Yeah, if it straightens out and gets nice and flat.
Tell me about these ducts on the hood.
Well, the story that I've always heard is that the race cars had real tall, big tires. The car sat real low, so the tires would rub the tops of the fenders inside there. So they cut holes in the fenders and put the scoops over them to cover them up.
Oh, okay.
That's one version. Another version I heard was to let air out. So I don't know what's true, but you look at some pictures, the cars do sit pretty low. So I don't know if they hit them in a tight turn or not. But.
Okay. This is your drag strip?
Yeah.
Just leave it and drive?
Yeah, if you want, or you manage it too.
All right, let's go, Superbird.
That wasn't even floored, was it?
That was 3/4.
Yeah, I'd say that I don't think the 6-pack opened up on it. When it opens up, you'll know it. Yeah. It's like, holy hell, this thing, it rips, dude, when you open it up. That was on a 2-barrel.
We made it back in one piece. Good conversation we had too. For example, like you drove it to Talladega from northeast Oklahoma.
Yep.
And it runs on race gas normally. So you put pump gas in it.
Yes. So it's an actual 12-to-1 compression.
Okay.
So it runs on 93. As long as I give it more than about half or 3/4 throttle, it won't ping on me or detonate. So I drove it all the way there on 93. When I got there, I put some good gas in it so I could hammer on it some miles on the track. Then I drove it back on 93. And it got 14.8 miles a gallon. So it actually did pretty well.
Wow. And, one of the things that I loved about us driving it, the car drives perfect. I wouldn't have a single complaint at all. These cars, like, what were you telling me about putting your money in it?
Oh, well, I'm not super savvy on the stock market, but I know a lot about these cars. So I'd rather have my money in these cars because I enjoy them and I understand their values better than I know how to work the stock market. So this car, probably 20 years ago was worth around 50 or 60 grand. And in 20 years, it's gone to worth to be about 250 to 300 range is what these cars are going for now. So it's done as well or better than probably the stock market or any kind of housing kind of investment would have been. and this is what I know and like, and I get to drive it, and enjoy it versus watching a stock piece move around.
Sure. Well, and I mean, we also discussed this, like the wealthy gazillionaires that are collecting these are kind of killing it for guys like you and me.
Exactly. So for me, when I go to a museum and a guy's got 20 or 30 or 50 cars like this, for me, it's like it's the death of the car. It sits there and it collects dust, and they're super, super nice, and the guy doesn't want to devalue the car by driving it, so the car sits, which takes those cars out of the group of cars that I can buy from and enjoy, or guys like me can buy from. So, which drives the value up, which is, it's got pros and cons to it. Sure, the value is better, but then there's less and less average Joe guys can afford cars like this.
That would actually get to use them for what they were made to be.
Exactly. You see, so it's got the factory scissor jack. So these cars came with 2 jacks in the factory. There's a scissor jack for the front and a bumper jack for the rear.
You're kidding.
Yeah, see, so originally they had just 1 jack because they had bumper jacks front and rear. Well, this car doesn't have a bumper on the front, obviously, so it comes with a scissor jack to use in the front. So it's got the scissor jack in the back.
Oh, you know what? Wow. I never really put it together, but yeah, you have a chrome bumper in the back, and most of the time if you have one in the back, you've got one in the front, but this is one of the few cars that were, like a urethane?
It's a steel. It's a steel nose.
The nose is steel. Mm-hmm. That shows my knowledge, or lack thereof. I never would have guessed, right? Because when I saw that, I thought, oh, well, that's just kind of worn in, but no.
Yeah, it's dented from somebody hitting something. Yeah.
Wow. Worst transition ever, right? I know. We actually started discussing maybe taking that car all the way out to California. Wayne knows some people who know some people, and we may even get a tour of Jay Leno's car collection. But to drive that Superbird all the way across the country and back would be a pretty rad trip that I think would make for some great content, making stops along the way on Route 66. So maybe be on the lookout for that in the next year. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're new here, hit subscribe. We do all kind of different stuff. Normally we just build trucks, but hey, we're willing to try anything. It's always good to have the good brakes.
Yeah, it is, exactly.
I like good brakes.